We are live and going.
All right. So we are the Aspiring Women Entrepreneurs, and we have our fabulous gang of four back together again. We have Donna Woolham, I'm Renee Dubner, and Marcia Chambers, and PK Eastman. And we all bring something different to the chair, but we're all sisters doing it for ourselves. And we're here to talk to you about being an entrepreneur, which can be, it can be thrilling. It can be a little scary. And tonight we're going to talk about confidence. Got to have it for success. Sometimes it's easy to get a little overwhelmed and back off your dream of having your own business. And we're going to talk to you. We're going to talk you down off the ledge if you're on the ledge, or give you some tips to talk yourself down off the ledge if you ever are on the ledge and thinking, I can't do this. So that's what we're here to do with you tonight. So we would love your questions and for you to interact with us. All right. How was that for an intro?
That sounds awesome. I think she did a great job, and we should hire her as the intro meister. What do you think?
Oh, great.
Hey.
Great.
I agree.
Hey, Jeremy. Welcome to our blab tonight. Thanks. We're glad you're here tonight. So we are going to talk about confidence. So why don't we just chat about what that looks like to each one of us, because I bet some of us have a different point of view of what confidence looks like and how it shows up. So
confidence,
Marcia?
as far as I know, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Confidence, as far as I know, shows up in all facets of life. So you are a wife and you have a family. Your confidence shows in how you rear your kids, how you run your household. If you have no say, if anything that goes on in the household, you have no kind of input, then there's some kind of confidence that's lacking there. If you are a student and you're going to school, you wish to be friendly and sociable with other people. If you have no confidence, then you can't make new friends, and you'll want to be that clingy person that doesn't want to change or doesn't want to adapt to change. If you are an employee in a new environment or even in an old environment, you get a promotion or you're passed over for a promotion. Maybe that speaks to your confidence. So confidence is reflected in every facet of life. Confidence when a woman walks down the street and she feels real confident in herself, or even a man who walks down the street and he has that swag. There's just something so sexy about confidence. It just makes you step a different way. So confidence just shows up in everything.
So Marcia, what is a woman supposed to do if by nature, let's just kind of outline a case. She's 5'4", maybe a light color brown hair, doesn't like to wear a lot of makeup, is not one who is like me, just always has to jump into a conversation. She's what we might initially describe as quiet and shy, maybe a little bit of a wallflower. Does that woman have to totally change her personality in order to become confident? Because I ask that because I think that it's a little frightening to some people to describe what you and I mean, the four of us obviously have a fair amount of confidence. We're willing to get up here and chat away with people we know and people we don't know.
No, I don't think she has.
There are many who don't. So I wonder if we could just explore for a minute how someone who is confident or feels like she's confident but doesn't have that swag when she walks. And how do we bring her into the conversation and help her to feel comfortable?
Well, a woman who doesn't have that swag or doesn't think that she has that swag, because trust me, we all have it. It's just that some of us are tapped in and turned on to it quicker than others. So if that woman knows that, yeah, she doesn't feel so good about herself, but trust me, We're all so unique, and we're all beautiful geniuses. So she just has to figure out what exactly is it that she likes about herself and embellish that. So she likes the fact that she's a very organized person. She's very quiet, but she's very organized. So relish in that organization, and people will be attracted to her, and that will give her the confidence that, hey, I got something going on here. Then she can step that way that she wants to step. Or even a gentleman, because sometimes people say if you are, what they call it, challenged by the height. So you're very short and you feel very diminutive and you feel that, well, all these tall people, and you feel inferior for whatever reason. Petite can be so sexy. You just have to make it sexy. You have to make it your own. Yeah, you got to own it. Exactly. Whatever it is, we all have something that's special to each and every one of us. We have to figure out what it is that we like about ourselves. Sometimes we just have to do that soul searching in the mirror. Look in the mirror, see something. Maybe you like your eyebrows, the way they're arched. Maybe you like the way your lips curl. Maybe you just like the way you look. Or maybe you don't like the way you look, but you like the way you stand, or you like that your personality is outgoing. Whatever it is, there's something about you. Just own it and use that to create that confidence within.
I do think that you're on a track there, Marcia, as far as how important it is for people to understand that they are enough just like they are. You don't have to add anything extra to yourself. You don't, however you are is enough. But I can tell you that as a little girl, I had confidence, but because of life situations, I lost confidence and became very introverted, very withdrawn, and very shy. And it took a lot to get me back to that point. Now, there's situations where I don't feel confident and I don't feel like I'm out there. I'm one of those vertically challenged people you're talking about, right there at the 5'3" level, but we can all go through those situations. And one of the things that happened for me is that I ended up in a job where I had to wait tables. Well, if you're shy and withdrawn and you don't have a lot of confidence, going up to absolute strangers and saying, may I take your order today, was a huge challenge. But that became something that helped boost me up out of that lack of confidence, because I had to do something outside of my regular, normal comfort zone. So whenever you're talking about the things that make us special and unique, to be able to find that, just to be at peace with who you are, I think is an incredible strength. So we're talking about success and having that and walking with, you call it swag and I call it enough. And let's see, PK, what do you say? What do you call that confidence level?
Gosh, I don't know that I have a specific word. I think what we're all talking about, and I think a distinction that's always important to me when I work with clients, is that we have these words and we use them and they have so many different meanings. Then sometimes it helps to kind of back away and add some additional words so that we can be more clear about what we're saying. And in my groups and whatever, we talk a lot about the difference between self-worth and self-esteem. Because self-worth is what really gives us confidence. It's what we can believe that we have, regardless of what anyone else says.
Yeah.
And that's not easy. I think that we all get caught up in the external. Who smiles at us, who says hi, which group we're in, whether it's at school or at the office.
So true.
But those are external reflections or perceptions by others about who we are. Mm-hmm. And in essence, it has nothing to do with who we truly are. That part that you talk about, Donna, that is the enough. So self-worth is, I think, the embryo of self-confidence.
That's good.
So that you begin to develop your self-worth, and that has to come from you. And hopefully you have somebody else who will help you find that. Because sometimes we're at a place where we don't know mean, we feel worthless. And there are enough pills out there being sold and enough people standing on bridges for us to know that a huge population, especially of women, do not feel like they're enough.
Right.
And they need to run to find, or we need to identify them, whichever way it goes, and say you are, and teach them the core of confidence is self-worth. And when we have that inside, that's when we can breathe deep, and that's when we can throw our shoulders back. I don't have to be an excellent typist. The only grade lower than a B I got in high school was a D in typing because I cheated.
You cheated in typing?
I did. The pressure was so great on me, and I did. Of course, that was back when we had to
do that.
I know. But you know what's funny? I have the confidence now to tell you that because my self-worth isn't anything about what my grades were in high school.
Wow, that's
so
right.
We're all on a learning curve. And my favorite thing about self-confidence is that Amy Cuddy, I know our last name is Cuddy, that talks about your superwoman pose and how we can, when we don't feel confident, that there are ways that we can do it. Maybe I can post that if somebody will remind me. I'll post a link to her TED Talk or whatever it was.
That's awesome. Yeah.
About poses.
You can fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have to say I'm not a big fan of that because I think the faking teaches us that we're not good enough. There's a paradox about that. So it's just essential. You know what? I am an absolute fabulous cook, and people will stand in line and pay for my rolls. I know people who are, and there are people dumb enough to do that. But, I take pride in that because it's a skill I've learned and I've worked at. So confidence doesn't have to be about what you're getting paid or whether or not you have a job or whether you're married or none of that. Confidence is a reflection of how you feel about yourself because you know you're valuable.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Just
That's
as
right.
you are.
That's right. And there's also this thing that society has ingrained where we look in these magazines and we see all these flawless women. And you're like, oh my God, her pores are so small, her lips are so this. And if you only
Airbrush.
Yeah, exactly.
Airbrush.
Yeah.
So, and then they spend all this money to get surgery to get something that's so unattainable.
Right.
I was just having this conversation with my daughter. Yes.
And let's think too about what happens to the image of women in business. Right. We're expected to have it and do it all perfectly. And that's like the airbrushed image. That's just an impossible standard to uphold. And that can really take a toll on someone's confidence that they feel they can't measure up to this impossible standard.
I think we should start preaching. I think you, Renee, should start preaching that perfection is limiting.
Yes, I really do want to make that my bandwagon about perfectionism because on the surface it sounds like a wonderful goal. Yeah. If we're gonna go for something, let's go for perfect. But when you really chip away at it, it's all really based in fear.
Exactly.
And that's not the place to be.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. And I wanted to show because, I'm all about the person that we are is enough. And I don't know if you guys have read Sally Hogshead's books about Fascinate and about the term fascinate, but this book right here, How the World Sees You.
I saw you post that the other day, but I haven't read that.
It's just ginormous, but it's not all for each individual, but it talks about the different types of personalities and how you can just be your authentic self. Are you an innovation or passion or power, prestige, trust, mystique, and alert? And those different types of our personality and how they blend together. And once you understand, for me, okay, let me just say that, and I'm not an affiliate of hers, I'm not getting paid. But once I was able to just see how she scientifically has put together this test, and you take the little stuff and you can go to her website and it's free to do that, and you realize that you've got these different personality types in you and you begin to own that and to stand up for who you are and to express yourself in the way that you are and use the colors that you really like because they're who you are. All of those things work together to give you more confidence. It's the kind of thing like, let me just say, here's a blab thing. We're on another blab, and I love the gal who was working with that, and she told us to get a different color light than what I had, and so I tried that, and I hate the way I look in that light. I just don't have the confidence personally in that light. So I went back to my other lights, and you know what? It's okay. It's who I am. It's how I am. It's what I am, and they may not be the best lights. They may not be the right lights, but they're the lights that make me feel the most confident. So I think it's just one of those things that you have to find the place where you feel strong.
Yeah.
And go from that point. Well, I mean, is that just like, am I just stupid, or is there validity to that? What do you guys think?
No, if you're going to, especially if we're talking about becoming an entrepreneur, you have to find the place where you feel strong. Otherwise, you're not going to make it.
Right.
I think women way underestimate the value of one of the feminine gifts, which is intuition.
Yes.
And what you look like in any given light is all about perception. And if someone else likes the way she looks in a light, and maybe she feels like she has more experience, she feels confident to make that recommendation. Mm-hmm. But if it doesn't sit well in your gut or in your heart, in your throat, wherever you feel it, you have to own that and say, that works for her, this works for me. Mm-hmm. And our hearts will tell us, and our minds will tell us what's right. And in business, it's the same way. One of my sons, God love him, said to me one day, "You're going to do what?" I repeated, and he said, "And you think people are going to pay you to do that?"
Don't listen to him. What you do?
First check, big check, hello. But I knew it was right. I knew that it was the right thing to do. It was the right place for me to be. And I have been, I won't use the word vindicated. That's sort of pejorative. But I have been given, success leaves clues. Yes. It leaves clues for us to follow, and it leaves clues that we know when we're following in the right path.
Right.
Yes.
So we as women have to, and I think it's especially hard in business because we're around men who work from the gut and have a masculine sort of hierarchy about jobs and promotions and that sort of thing. And we are not wired that way. Right. And it is a huge mistake to try to change that part of us, which is innately woman.
Exactly.
So,
feminist, be whatever. I'm a feminist. I want women to get paid for the same, but I don't want to have to act like a man to get it.
Right. So, PK, are you saying, okay, so men work from their gut, and so do women. I mean, we're very intuitive. Is it that we as women
But that's the difference, Renee.
We don't trust? Is it that we don't trust, or we
don't trust our
reaction and go, oh, no, that's wrong. But all the conventional wisdom says this. My gut's saying this, so I'm going to go with the conventional wisdom. Is that what women do? Do we second guess ourselves?
Oh, I think we do a lot because it goes back to the confidence that we're not enough. And, the science on this is really fascinating. Marsha may know some of this, but several decades ago, they did a lot of research on women as they were entering the workforce and getting promoted. And as they got promoted, their coworkers would describe them as aggressive, bitchy, and other words. But when men did the same exact things, they were called strong and in control. And so there's a double standard or a dichotomy. And I guess it's just genetically, women are the nesters. We want people to be happy. So we negotiate from a different level. We are literally wired that way biologically. Men are the hunter-gatherers. And it doesn't mean we have to maintain those strict roles. But I think women honor that we are intuitive men. And so it's on us. It is on us to develop. I mean, and that's the whole point of becoming confident, is to learn to trust your intuition and your feelings, to be in, I don't like the word charge, and I don't like the word control, but that really is this, to say, I know this is right, and if I'm offline, I'll just back up and redo it. That's just going to be a learning
May
thing.
I make a suggestion?
So,
A confession?
Okay,
Did you say confession or profession?
I said suggestion.
Or suggestion.
I think one of the solutions to help women to be more confident is to start with that sisterhood, because I find that women tend to fight against each other.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Yes, I
And it's
agree.
so unnecessary. So if we just start small. If you have a neighbor, a friend, a colleague, a coworker who's another woman, just be kind for that one day. Be kind to that woman. Could be just a smile. Could be, hey, how are you? It could be, hey, you want to go to lunch? Hi, I saw, whatever it is, just a kind word or a kind gesture to that woman, to empower that woman. I think that that's where we could start. And if we spread that out, the effect that it would have in someone else's confidence, just to know that, hey, she got my back, or hey, she's in my corner. It's empowering. It's empowering, and it exudes confidence in that person. So whoever had the 5'1", the vertically challenged, the brown hair, that they didn't like themselves so much, and somebody was really nice to them and said, hey, that's a really nice pair of shoe or really nice dress. I'm telling you, it works wonders. That's why I like to hug. I don't hug everybody, but I like to hug, because you never know what people are going through. You just never know.
Right. That's a great point. And I'd love to add something on to that. Sometimes we as women, and we do this with men too, it's not women exclusively doing this to women. We might, especially if we're starting a business, see another woman as competition.
Mm-hmm.
And we all just need to step back and say, hey, there is room enough in this universe for all of us and all of our gifts, because we're going to touch lives in totally different ways. And there's room for all of us. There's no need to compete. Nobody should ever be thought of as competition. Somebody who's stealing clients.
Mm-hmm.
We can all work the same corner.
Yeah.
Because
my husband used to always say the best place to put up a new hamburger joint is across from McDonald's, because they've got business going there, and somebody just might try you.
Yes.
So,
and
that competition always, except in sports. Let me take sports and put it in its own little world, or own big world, whatever. But in terms of working and being with people, I think being afraid of competition always comes from a scarcity mentality.
Yep.
And so when you are working from a scarcity mentality, it does not matter how many people are out there waiting for you. You are never going to find them.
Right.
Good.
Because you're so closed off.
Yes.
You're so closed, you can't receive anything back to yourself.
That's right.
The words we speak matter, and most of all, they matter to us. So if I'm worried that, Marcia, you're going to take my client, then I'm not being positive. I am not emanating anything from my body, my stance, my voice tone, my body language, or anything that's going to encourage some other person to come my way.
Right.
And I think am I right or am I right? Who says that?
I think we're all just like, yay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Energetically, you will scare off.
And I do think women are worse about that than men, because we're again, it comes from that fear, and you just have to decide, whatever you do, if you pray, if you fast, if you walk, if you meditate, whatever you do, You do that long enough till you know you're right about what you're choosing for you. And then you do that till the point the doubts are always wash, I'm tongue tied. Your fear has to be less, than your commitment to do and be what you want to be.
And
and
so
it
what
will
do we
happen.
do if we're talking to someone and they just don't have that? They're watching this, they're listening to this, and they can agree with everything that we say. And they can say, I do want to be able to own how incredible I am. I do want to be able to stand up strong. I do want to be able to believe that I'm enough in everything I do and to take control and to be on the corner across from McDonald's and know that there's going to be business. Where does that woman start? Where does that person start to create that and to live that out? What advice would you give someone?
All one of us.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
No, I'm serious. Call one of us and we'll help you find what you need.
But if they're not going to call us and they have to go to a job interview tomorrow morning, they need to call us. You're right, PK. But if they're going to go to something in the morning and they, what was it you said, Amy Cuddy? So they need to stand up strong and look at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah, I'd watch that 10 times tonight.
So, don't you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror, and no matter what the voice in your head is saying, which is, we're our own worst enemy. We believe what no one else would ever, we say to ourselves what we would never allow anyone else to ever say to ourselves. You have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am
enough.
Good. I am strong. I am smart. I am able. I can do this, and have those kind of conversations. Okay, so Jeremy has a question. Thanks, Jeremy. How can we permanently let go of scarcity and claim abundance in its place? The self-criticism can be very powerful if we don't defy it. So there's that question right there. How can you permanently let go of that?
Self-talk.
Self-talk.
Yeah.
You have to focus on what you want. Your mind is going to follow what you focus on. And if you focus on, I always live in scarcity. I don't know how to get rid of scarcity. I try and I still feel scarce. You're going to stay right where you are. And it's the garbage in, garbage out theory, isn't it? So you have to stand there and you have to say, you may not believe it in the beginning, but here's the deal. If you don't believe it with your own heart about yourself, then you have to trust us or someone else who will be your cheerleader, your champion, and say, I swear to you, you're this. You are strong enough. You are brave enough. I'm a Winnie the Pooh fan. You have much more than you know. And trust me, I'm really good at evaluating people. All four of us. But I would say, trust me, I see in you things you do not yet see in yourself. And the operative word is yet.
But also,
you can learn that.
Also, what Jeremy and others can do is to just start looking around at where they are, what they have, what's available to them, accesses and everything, and just say, you know what? Thank you for that. When you look at other
gratitude, yep, love that.
Sense of gratitude. Once you start with gratitude, then everything else will be so easy. Because when you look at where you are and you say, I could not have this roof over my head, or I could not have this job to go to, or this business to own, or whatever it is that you currently have, and you start being grateful for that, then the negativity just flows away. It just flows away. It takes time.
And you have to be consistent.
Yes. I was just going to say it takes practice and it takes a little time. It's not going to happen overnight. I know we're Americans and we need the instant gratification, but it takes a little bit of time. But what I was going to say to women, especially women entrepreneurs who try to, or even people who feel that they have to compete, what entrepreneurs tend to do is to share, because businesses need that connection with other businesses. So I'll share what I have or what I know so that we could collaborate and make a bigger business, just as we four did. The four of us here is true testament of collaboration and of sharing, because we don't all know everything. And trust and believe, it took a little bit for us to get here, but we're here and we're working together. And
we set this up pretty fast, actually.
Well,
but we had training. I think what Marsha's saying, we were ready for this.
Right. That is true.
Yeah, it wasn't like we were Scarcity Friday and Monday we were on Black. Does this you can't see this thing?
Yeah.
It's too white.
Jeremy, there's a little thing called a focus wheel. And this will help you. I use it all the time because it's not easy to stay on track all the time. So you draw a circle in the middle of your paper, okay? Like you were going to draw a sun and you're in first grade. And then you put the little rays out, the little lines, put 12 of them or so out from that circle. So you've got a first grader sunshine, all right? Here's the funny thing. Most people can tell you exactly what they don't want. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to live here. I don't want to drive that car. I don't, but if you ask them what they want, sometimes they can't tell you. And so I say, well, tell me what you don't want. I don't want to drive that car anymore because it's scary. I say, okay, so you want a new car, right? Then in the middle of your circle, you put, I want a new job. I want to do really well at my interview. Let's take something practical. So you write in that circle, I want to nail this interview tomorrow. So then you think about what would the person that's going to nail that interview look like?
So good.
And that's what you write on the spoke. You write
like a visualization.
Dressed professionally, right? That's something you need to do if you're going to an interview. Make sure I'm clean shaven and my hair is combed. I suppose it depends on where you're going to work. But yeah. Right. So you're going to put on here the things. If you were going to hire somebody, what would you want from them? And then that's all you think about. You don't think about I'm too short. You don't think about I don't have enough experience. You think about I can dress professionally. I am this. I am that. And you just go around that. And you can do 3 or 4 of those every morning to help your day. Yeah, you have a fatter pen. So yeah. And you put in there what you want. Today I want to be really organized. And then you say, pay attention, stay on task, take breaks every 90 minutes. It works for everything, and it is a fabulous tool. I know the best of the best. That came from one of the best of the best. I didn't make that up myself, but it's a fabulous tool.
Yeah, it is a great tool.
Focus wheels are really, really good for everybody, no matter, because they grow with you. In the beginning, you may be using something really simple, but as you get to a place where it's not so simple,
focus wheels are awesome.
It's a fabulous tool. You can email me. I'll draw you up one. I probably have one printed up in my, content stuff. I'll email them to you guys.
Focus wheels are also a good leadership tool, because leadership, they say, be the leader that you want to attract. So if you know somebody you want to attract, or what kind of leader you're looking for, put them on that focus wheel, and you start reflecting that, and then those people will come.
Yeah. And maybe tomorrow's job doesn't work out. So on whatever tomorrow is, Tuesday, on Wednesday, your focus wheel is, I want to attract 4 more interview offers. And then you write 1 in this, 1 in that, so-and-so, a job that I work from 9 to 5 or 4 to 7, or a job that makes a minimum of so much, salary, or if you're an entrepreneur, say, I want 4 more clients by Friday.
This sounds like,
what are you going to do to get 4 more clients? You put them out the spokes of the focus wheel.
This sounds like manifesting to me.
Well, you can call it manifesting. You can call it visualization. You can call it planning and preparing. Doesn't make any difference what you call it. It's about focus.
Right.
Manifestation is really, at its essence, nothing more than staying focused on your desired outcome.
Yes.
And that's what it is. But focus, the power of focus is amazing. And if you focus your mind on getting clients or getting thinner or getting fatter or whatever, wherever you focus your mind, your body and all the things around you are going to follow that.
Energy goes.
And thank you. I couldn't think of the word.
So then in the continuation process, it's just so important what we are continually putting inside of our mind and continually putting before our eyes and continually listening to. And in this stage of life where we are, you can have any kind of information that you want. I mean, we can email UPK and get that focus wheel, but a person could just as easily just like Google it and find it. So if you're struggling in a particular area and it's so great. We're all coaches and we work in different areas in our coaching realm to reach out to us and say, hey, we want to work and we all offer discovery sessions where it's inexpensive or free for you to chat with us and we can help get you on track for a project or something that you're working toward. But that's not going to make the change. You're not going to stay confident by a one-shot kind of thing. You've got to continually put that information inside of your mind and inside of your head and inside of your heart and transform who you are, bring the greatness of who you are to the outside of you and really bring that forward. And that only comes by time. Only comes by time. So to do the focus wheel, you've got to do that all the time.
Yeah.
You can't just do it today and say, Eureka, I'm cured of my not having confidence. You've got, I wish it was that way. And, you're going to go along and you're going to walk like a lion into your tribe and you're going to just be awesome. The pride of life, you're just going to walk and then boom, you're going to hit something that knocks you crazy and you're not going to have confidence in that area and you're going to have to walk through that too.
Again.
Again
and again.
Because like you said, that's how we got here is day by day and step by step taking one.
Did any of you get to where you are without working with a coach or
Nope.
Somebody told me I shouldn't say that, but you know what? The truth is you have to learn certain things and you have to decide what you need to learn. And I won't go into that, but I was reading today and I found this absolutely fascinating. This is a quote from Benjamin Franklin, good old Ben. And he said, there are three things that are really hard. One is steel, one is a diamond, and three is yourself.
That is great.
I thought that was just really incredible wisdom from a scientist.
Yeah.
There are three things that are really hard. And that is true. It is hard to know yourself without getting, you can read and read and read, but you got to practice. And then you need somebody who gives you appropriate feedback on how that's going for you. And you'll know the right person, for whatever your business is.
Right. Because there are people who are, if you're needing personal development, then you need a personal development coach. If you're needing marketing strategies, there's marketing coaches. If you're, in the leadership realm, you need somebody who's going to help you with leadership or any of those different things. There is a coach out there to walk you through the process. You're absolutely right. And before we're finished, we will all have our contact information in the thing there. And by the way, my name is not Aw, just so you know. It's like
no, it's awesome.
So my name is Donna Woolham. So just as an FYI, I get to be the host tonight. So and with PK and Renee and Marcia, and we all for those of you who are listening, we are collaborators. We joined up through the Public Speakers Association, and we are career Speaker Academy coaches. So not only are we life and business coaches, but we're also speaker coaches and business coaches so that we can help you walk through some of those different areas. And we are firm believers that Blab is a great place for you to practice your speaking skills.
It's a great place.
Yeah. So if you are wondering how you're going to get somebody to book you for a speaking gig, my recommendation, first of all, is get your confidence up, schedule a Blab, and get your best friend to sit in the seat next to you and have a Blab and practice, because there's nothing like live recording to show you what you're made out of, right,
have
girls?
A Blab and have a blast.
Oh, I love that. Hey,
I thought of a point that I wanted to make, and I'm glad you brought up the Career Speaker Academy and becoming a trainer. I Donna, earlier you mentioned that you used to have confidence in spades when you were younger and something happened to it. And I was thinking the same thing about myself. I used to have a lot of confidence. I could get up and perform in front of people and speak in front of people. And I don't remember it being an issue. But as I got older, something inside of me just shut down and I had lost my confidence. Something kicked the wind out of me. And I had to rebuild it over again. And rebuilding it helped me to become an entrepreneur. And I'm still rebuilding myself. I'm still building that confidence. But something that I am doing in my business is stepping out and speaking. Stepping out and speaking in public scares me to death. And then becoming a trainer and having to train people about becoming a speaker is yet another layer. It's another step out of my comfort zone. And I wanted to make the point, building confidence or in business, I always hear do something that scares you every day. It's never if you feel too comfortable in what you're doing, it's time to shake up your world and do something that scares you. Whether that's public speaking or
Absolutely.
doing something else in your life that's really scary. That maybe it's learning how to dance. Whatever it is, do something that scares you every day. And I think that helps to build your confidence because you realize you've gained a new skill. It's not so scary. It's really kind of fun, like talking with these ladies on Blab. And I'm learning I can do this.
Yeah.
So speaking has been this is a real life example for me of a confidence builder.
You know, everybody's a speaker. The best speaker, the people that need the most help speaking are parents. I had somebody training me how to speak to my kids.
Oh, yeah.
What I really wanted to say was last night I was listening to a coach trainer, and she said, the way you speak, I should have written it down, but it was about the only thing that stands between you and everything you want are the words you use and the way you speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was extremely powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic.
So
that's fantastic.
When we're thinking, because we're about an hour, we've been about 40 minutes how long we've been on, and when we're talking about confidence and moving toward this confidence attitude, and we've decided that, you know, we probably need a coach, somebody to help us to get on track and kind of stay on track and think outside of our box. Because, and PK, you probably could tell us exactly who said this, but I'm thinking that it was Einstein who said you cannot solve a problem in the same realm in which the problem was created. I don't know, but
that sounds like him.
Sounds like him. So
Stephen Covey said you cannot talk yourself out of a problem you have behaved yourself into.
That's good. That's good. And so we're trying to make all this because we have said that if you're going to be successful, you've got to have confidence. And I know that there are people who are listening that their heart desire more than anything is to be successful in their business. I mean, they would do anything if they could just be more successful. So, I mean, for me as a heart-centered coach, and Jeremy, you talked about that being a heart-centered person, you know, your heart just aches for them. You just wish you could just like pour open hearts and minds and just pour confidence in, and it could transform, but we can't do that. So how do we help someone if you know, you're talking about the focus wheel, and Marcia, you're talking about, you know, think about that one thing and really going after that, and your swag. And then Renee, you're talking about that it's, you know, so important that we don't try to be perfect in what we're doing. We just, that'll kill us. And me, I'm saying read better books and listen to better podcasts, that kind of stuff. So that's a lot of words. What's a practice? What's a practice we can do? So what could I do sitting here at my desk? You gave us the focus wheel. So Renee and Marcia, what could I do at my desk that would help me be confident?
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Start being grateful and empower another woman with a smile. It's just a kind act.
I think you had the quote. I'm trying to think back to when we first met, and I was talking to you, Donna, about doing my first talk and setting up some information or an offering for our website. And you said something like, done is better than perfect. What's your...
Yeah. That's not my advice. I grabbed that from somebody else, but yeah.
Well, it's good advice. And just giving yourself a break and telling yourself that it is okay. Where I am right now is okay.
Yeah.
And it's not my idea of what perfect looks like, and that is okay. And being gentle to yourself in a way to stop this loop, this negativity loop that often circles around in your head. How many of you have that chatter loop that's negative? This is one way to be really gentle to yourself and say, you know what? Done is better than perfect. And I'm okay. And we're done right now, and now I'm going to rest. And we'll take this up again tomorrow or some other time. But right now it's done, and it's all right.
One of the mottos I made my kids learn at our house was, it doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful.
Yes.
I love that.
That's right. That's right.
I'm typing a few things. I'm trying to get our focus points in there. So right now I'm putting in PK's Creative Focus Wheel to help you know what will move you in the direction you want to go. Is that...
That and Amy Cuddy. The fake it till you make it part is let your body do the talking for you sometimes when you're not really sure how to start. 3 minutes of doing that before an interview is invaluable.
Yeah. And isn't it all about the mindset that we have and changing that mindset and then having the actions that actually come into alignment with that? So, which Renee, you said, do something once a day that really makes you afraid, or that really plops you out of that, pushes your limits a little bit. So if it's let's just say, as an entrepreneur, you know that you need to get out there and you need to network better, and you hate to network. You went to work for yourself so you could be alone, because there are those people who prefer to work on their own. They love to be with people, but they want to work on their own. So don't put yourself in such a position that you say, well, I'm going to go to 4 network meetings this week and I'm going to really bust this out. No, just choose one that you feel like you could go to and slip in and meet somebody and then leave. Don't make it so hard on yourself, right?
Amen.
Right?
Because it's not going to happen tonight.
Right.
I think it's a matter of learning to pace yourself, which is a real important part of knowing. For some, 1 a week, but I feel compelled to say that there are other situations where, because of whatever the circumstances are, you need to work as fast as you can without overwhelming yourself. And so you can know, what can I do? Can I push today or not? And if you can't, then you back off. But if you can, you don't say, well, I planned for 1 and I've done that. And then, you learn what you can do in order to achieve your goals or your dreams or whatever. And that's the piece we haven't really talked about, because that's what will motivate you. Yeah. But the different levels of motivation, somebody can motivate you, but all that means is that they're going to get you to get your butt up off the chair and go do something today. But it's not going to last. That's not what motivation is. That's kind of a here and now thing. And they can inspire you, which will last a little bit longer. But transformation, which is where most of us want to go, is a longer time. And so that's when the pacing becomes really important. But you have to learn, how much do I want it? What is my why? And when do I want that why? And that's what that will internally set us up to push and then learn to read ourselves and sit back. Take a breath and then learn to push again, because that's, if you really want something, it's not going to happen by just, poking a stick at it once a week or something. So there's a balance in there that's really critical. Push, rest, balance. But sometimes balance means work yourself to death for 3 days and then rest for 2. So you have to come to, again, it's back to knowing what you can do and how to pace, balance, repeat.
Which is one of my big things. In fact, it's funny you're talking about that, because in my blog post this week, I'm talking about consistency is one of the essentials for entrepreneurs. You have to just keep working at it consistently. You can't just throw yourself into it for a minute and then say, well, that didn't work, and quit for 2 weeks. You just have to just keep working, continue to be diligent, and continue to be consistent in it. So I love that you brought that up. We hadn't even talked about that. Thanks there, PK, for that.
Well, I just think that's a real critical part for us. And it depends. Maybe this is a hobby that you hope to make, but for some of us, this is our livelihood, and the life we want to have depends on it.
Well, I think that that's a very important point, because once you determine why you're going to do what you're going to do or what business you're in, once you determine your why, then you'll just stick with it. Because if your why is about, I heard it can make a lot of money, then you're going to quit the minute that you stop making any money, or you don't make any money for 6 months. You're going to say, this is a scam, this doesn't work. But if your why is strong enough and you know that this is what I believe in, this is my passion, then regardless, you'll work at it diligently. It could be 3 o'clock in the morning. You say, oh my gosh, I haven't eaten all day, because you just love doing this. And it will come. The success will come.
I love that point. Marcia.
Thank you.
So true.
Yeah. Donna is typing.
And you know what? Don't be afraid to change your why.
Rising Mariana says she's over with being scared. I've improved a lot, but find it hard to accomplish certain things. I feel a bit stuck. So what can we do? What are some things that you use when you feel stuck?
Does she ask her if she wants to share how she is stuck?
If you'd like to share, Mariana, you can. If you want to.
He doesn't. That's okay.
Yeah. So what do you do while she's deciding or typing? What do you do if you feel stuck?
Meditate.
Okay.
That's what I do. Meditate. Just step away and meditate. It really, really clears the brain, clears the fog out, clears everything. You just sit still, turn everything off, close your eyes, and just listen to the blood curl down your veins and go to your toes and figure out how you feel. It's as simple as that. Or some people say concentrate on your breathing. It's all about not thinking about, well, what should I eat for lunch today? Or did I do the laundry? No, don't think about those things. Just focus on you, internalize your thoughts about you. And when you're out of it, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20, however long you want to do it, your creativity just spikes. If you're feeling stuck, I say it like I tell you like I know, like I know. I can't even talk. I say it like I know. Meditating will,
because you know,
yes, it will unstick you. It will spike your energy. It will spike your creativity. You'll just feel like, oh my gosh, wow, why didn't I think of that before? And the pen will just start flying, and the paintbrush and everything will just start going. Meditate.
I move my furniture around wherever I'm working, or I declutter, because a lot of times if you have a lot of chaos and things around you in your visual field, it can cause chaos in your spiritual or creative mind, in your creative field. So whenever I find myself stuck creatively or business wise, I'll just move the furniture around in my office. It may just be turn my desk to a different wall or something like that, because a different point of view shakes me up. So whenever I'm feeling stuck in a project, if I can give myself a new view. So if I always work inside, I may go and work outside. Or if I always do XYZ on Monday, I won't do XYZ on Monday. I'll do something else. In fact, something that sounds so silly, but it works, is I bet every person here has a routine when they take their shower. You're going to wash your hair at a certain time. Women are going to shave their legs at a certain time. Change your routine. Even just in your shower, change your routine, because it signals in your brain something new is happening here. Something different is going on. It's not the same old thing. And sometimes that can jog you creatively and emotionally as well. So
I think all those things are really good if you're thinking about being stuck. Just today, the juices aren't flowing, whether it's writing or making phone calls. And that was why I was kind of interested in what it might be, because if it's something bigger, I've worked on this project now, or the conversations I'm having with potential clients are all ending in a no. Sometimes you just really need somebody that you can trust as an advisor and say, this is what I'm doing. And they will ask you questions. I find somebody who will ask you questions that make you think. So have you changed your routine in the way you approach somebody? Tell me what you say. It is so easy to pick up a different phrase. I mean, you're in a meeting, you always say something the same way and it works. And then you hear somebody else say something in a meeting or in a blab or in a conversation, say, I'm going to try that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Try it. But then if something seems to shift, you need to backtrack and look at what that is, because truly, I think the definition of entrepreneur is every day it's a new experiment.
That is so true.
Isn't it? And you have to be, that I think is the hardest part about being an entrepreneur, is going with that flow and saying, here's the fun thing about being an entrepreneur. There really is no such thing as failure, because you're just experimenting to see if the way I talk worked, or if what I wrote worked, or did I contact the right publisher, or did I speak at the right Rotary meeting? Whatever it is. Some days it works and some days it doesn't. Some days it's them, some days it's you. And so the best way is to have somebody that will give you feedback. If it's other than those, I'm just stuck, I can't write the next page in this book, or I don't know what color to use, those things. If you're quilting, this all looks, whatever those creative endeavors are. But if it's business oriented, and you're really stuck for more than an hour or a couple of days, and clearing some white space just to, take a deep breath and renew. If that doesn't work, then you really need to find, like I say, somebody that you already work with, somebody you know that's in a similar business, and just talk it out. That talking it through and getting feedback. You'll figure it out, because that's what you're going to tell yourself. I don't know right now what's wrong, but I'm going to figure it out. It's going to come to me. And if you have to, you have to prime that pump.
And I was thinking about a combination of the two, between Marcia and what you were saying, PK. Just, I was worried. We've all been scared and we've all felt stuck. And the thing that came to mind for me when I read your comment was that negative loop that is just on replay in your mind, that plays over and over again. And a great way to deal with that is to get quiet. So I love what Marcia was saying about meditation, and just stepping away from whatever it is that is making you feel stuck and scared. Remove yourself from that situation and get quiet and find some inner peace through meditation. But also I find finding somebody to consult with is very helpful, whether it's a coach or a very good friend who can just reflect back to you and say what you're going through is okay, and we can help you talk it out. We can help you make a plan. I can help you see that it's not as bad as you think it is. Somebody that you trust, that you can talk to, can be very helpful for digging you out of that hole that you feel like you're in.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, PK, can you read that there, what Rising Mariana has said?
No, you know what? Where do I do that? I have a note.
I can do it.
Okay,
It says,
great.
I'm studying the career I want, but all my life I have worked so hard at studying that my personal life is just a mess. I have been so good at avoiding socialization or socializing that I don't know how. I sometimes feel my career is getting in the way. I have improved. Take a step up. I freeze.
Yeah.
So she's not socializing,
Mm-hmm.
and her career is booming.
Which can happen.
It's feast or famine, isn't it?
And we're not laughing at you, darling. What we're laughing at is that it's just that incredible unbalance of the balance of life that happens sometimes. And I can relate to that because it's your challenge socially, because that has been an area that's been super hard for me in the past, is to make that step up. So I understand trying to make that shift can be really tough, and not knowing exactly what kind of situation that you're in. I just want to applaud you and say congratulations that you keep trying. That's the most important thing, is that you just keep trying.
Yes.
And, what kind of friends are around you? Do you have positive friends that can help you with that and be your wing woman while you're going out there, or, to help put you in some safe places, because that's what you really need, or some safe places to practice your social skills, and so that you don't feel like you're out there in the middle of the whole world all on your own. So what do you gals think?
I think she should go for a walk. If you go for a walk, I'm telling you, you meet so many people. They may come up to you and say, hey, I like those sneakers. I like those shoes. I like your dress. I like your hat, whatever it is. Or maybe you can pay the compliment. That's part of socializing. Pay someone a compliment. That's the easiest way to network. And even if you say, well, I don't like to walk, take a bike ride. You don't like to ride, run. You don't like to do that? Well, go for a drive and go sit somewhere and just wear some snazzy shoes, maybe. I don't know.
Or a hat.
Or a hat. Hey.
I think carving out the time is really important. Time is a big bugaboo for us because it's something, time is man-made. It's a man-made construct, and we're beholden to it. And we say, we don't have any time, but try to carve out some time to venture out and make that time that you set a non-negotiable. Like you can't,
right.
You can't break it. You can't take that time away and do more work, or allow that to be taken over by your working. Just carve some time out, and maybe that carving time out means carving time out for you, because you need to feel radiant about yourself in order to feel good about stepping out and socializing. So set some time aside to feel good about yourself. Go get that mani and pedi. Feel good. Do something nice, and don't break that time with yourself.
And don't feel guilty about it either, like that you don't deserve it or something. So
can I just piggyback on that? Because we were talking about confidence. And to a certain extent, if she is freezing because she's not socializing anymore, so don't worry about it. Don't look at it that, oh, I don't know how to do that anymore. As Renee said, make a date with yourself. Have a date night for you. Put that time and say, Saturday, I'm not doing any kind of work. It's all about me. You go to the spa, you get a massage, you get a mani-pedi, you go get your hair done, or you just go shopping, or you just go for a walk, or you just do window shopping. Whatever it is, it's your time alone, your time with you. And that exudes some confidence. And you'll see how many people are attracted to you, and your socializing will be like out the window, up in the air. People just start coming to you. Oh, I really like your swagger.
That's the word of the night, swagger.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
the date part I think is really important, and I would certainly go with that. Maybe even if you found a class you could take, I don't know the kind of work you do, or if you're taking if you're highly into business, then I would take an art class or roller skating, something completely outside your comfort zone. And I would say, I can do this, I can do this. Because again, some of the ways we express what we don't like about our lifestyle or our work ethic or whatever, then we just get in the rut of saying, I don't like to do that. That's really hard. I don't like vegetables, whatever. So then you begin to say, so my first question to you would be, what is it that you really want that you're not getting? What are your level of expectations? Are you expecting more for what you're giving? Focus on what you can give to other people. That is the surest way to become someone that people want to be around. You know, the random act of kindness, that's invaluable. But I mean, just ask questions. Sometimes when we think we're not social, it's because we feel like we don't know what to say.
Yeah.
How about this? Oh gosh, how long have you lived here? And then the next question is, what made you move here? And then the next question is, how long do you plan to stay? Where's your family? I mean, you don't have to be the conversationalist. I've done that. And first of all, I love it for networking because it makes networking fun instead of being pressure oriented. Just throw that in. But they're going to love you and want to be with you because who do you care most about?
About
them.
Yeah.
There isn't a person on this blab, and I'm talking about the four of us, that wouldn't love to have somebody else care about us. I mean, that's human nature. We feed off of that in a certain way. And the best way to have that need met is to just not focus on me, but just, what can I do for you? How could I make you feel happier? How could I make you feel more at home? What could I do? Two most important questions you'll ever memorize if you're really smart is, how can I help you? What do you need? And how can I serve you?
Yep.
If you ask 3 people that a week, you will become the toast of the town. And, you know, that's sort of hyperbole joking, but it's really true. When we get in a rut and we think, I'm not this, I'm not that, I don't have this, I don't have that, what's the first word in every one of those sentences?
I.
Yeah.
A fabulous coach that I used to listen to all the time said that being listened to and being loved are so close to the same thing that most people don't even know the difference. And so if you're a person who listens to others, just like PK said, that was just so perfect. If you are the person who listens and has conversation and lets people talk to you, you will learn so much about them and you will be the person they want to be around. You're so right, PK. So right.
Write the questions down. Write them on the little sticky and memorize 5 questions that you could ask. And if you run out and that person doesn't take it anywhere, then you say, gosh, I've so enjoyed talking with you. And you find someone else. It can be at the library. Exactly. It can be at the library. It can be at Starbucks. I don't, Barnes and Noble, whatever. There are places that people are dying. I mean it. Dying to have somebody ask them about them.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you don't care how, you feel so good because you immediately see that you have made that person's life better. And what more could you ask for in your day if at the end of each day, when you say, what were my successes? I made Janet feel better about herself by listening.
Rising Mariana, did any of these sound like things that you could do? The things that you could take into your next situation or into this next week? Were there any of those things there that feel like that they're easy enough for you to do or simple enough for you to do that would move you forward? If so, or if not, let us know and just go ahead and put those in the message there. Because if it is, then we're glad, and if it's not, then we'll bang our heads together against the
Then we'll
wall.
think of something else.
We'll think of something else. So, ladies, what kind of things do you have coming up in the next week where people could connect with you? What do you have happening? Where can people find you?
Wednesday on the Public Speakers Association. Tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday, we're doing our monthly summit, and I'm going to be talking about New Year's in November, kind of a way of approaching the gratitude and planning for the new year. So instead of waiting till the day after New Year's. I
love it.
I love that.
Yes, I'm going to be speaking as well. I have to sign myself up, but I'm going to be speaking as well on the summit about don't let stress be an unwelcome guest. Thinking about the holidays, and people really amp up the stress during the holidays. And it's really a time for us to spend time with the people that we love and taking stock. So let's make sure that it's more of that and less stress.
Wow, where'd Marcia go? She just disappeared.
She did.
Her little seat there is empty. So I don't know where she went. Maybe she had some trouble. So I'm putting her website in there as well. So I've put over there, PK, that you're going to be at the Public Speakers Association.
Wednesday morning at, I think it's 11 or 11:30 Pacific time. So, yeah.
But if
you have our email addresses or our Facebook, if anybody wants more information, they can just ask the question on Facebook. That's good.
Yeah. So if you will just go to Facebook and look for Aspiring Women Entrepreneurs, or on Twitter, on our Twitter page. We all have our own personal Twitter accounts and our own business accounts and our own email accounts and all of that kind of stuff. But the AWE Strategies, AWE Strategies, on Twitter, you can find us there for sure and connect with us. And Rising, Mariana says, yes, what you mean is that I need to forget about myself a bit to get away and talk to people about them to start a conversation. So
focus on other people's problems, not your own.
And, that doesn't mean that's where you stop, but that's a great place to start. And begin to open up that dialogue and conversation and help take the pressure off of you thinking, what am I going to say to them? So it helps you, takes the pressure off. So,
that's one of the biggest problems in communication, in business, marriage relationships. When somebody else is speaking, you're thinking about what you're going to say back to them rather than really listening to what's going in. And it's because we want to make sure we say the right thing. I would rather say the wrong thing and really have heard someone. They're going to appreciate it more. So it's just, again, about focus.
Absolutely.
Ladies, I'm going to sign off.
Well, put your website in the comment box before we go. All of us do that. Everybody, put your website in there. And we want to thank everyone for being on our Blab program today. We try to do this every couple of weeks, and so watch for us. And thanks for those of you who have decided to follow us and to follow our Blabs, and please look for each one of us out there. We are just 4 women who love to encourage others to live their very best life, to have the most success possible, and to encourage you and to help you. And we would just love to hear from all of you. So Renee, did you put your stuff in there? And where can people find you, hun? You want to just say that?
You can find me, you can write to me at reneedubner.com. And my website, reneedubner.com, is under construction at the moment, but you can find out how to contact me. And my last name, it's a little tricky. It's pronounced Dubner, but it's spelled Deubner.
Thank you, honey. Thank you.
All right.
How about you? And are you saying goodbye? Are you leaving us?
I'm saying goodbye.
Okay, goodbye. Goodbye. And PK, how about you, sweetie? How can people find you?
I just was I just put my email address in there, k@pkeastman.com.
Okay, terrific.
So that's the fastest way, or in the Facebook group. That
Terrific.
works. I love doing this. This is so much
Terrific.
fun.
And do you do what?
If you're an entrepreneur, you need to start, find somebody to do a blab with. It's so comfortable. It's the perfect way to start getting exposure for your business.
I agree. And it's not as scary as it seems. Everybody's learning. It's just all in beta and everybody's learning, and everybody has the same kind of tricky little internet things and headset things and camera things. So, just don't let that be something that stops you. You're so smart, PK, to say that. So, yeah. So, so your email.
Well, we're a fun bunch.
We are. And we just want to thank everybody, those of you who've hung with us from the beginning to the end. We really appreciate it. And thank you for this. And be sure, if you're listening to the recording, be sure and connect with us and let us know that you listened to the recording, because we want to hear back from you too. So thanks so much, everybody. Have a good night.